Hello guys, and welcome to your Sunday night update. I'm really glad to have you guys here. We got big news this Sunday night. Donald Trump, well, let's get right into it. Let's get right into it. Let's start up the charts right here and get right into this. In an abrupt turnaround, Donald Trump has decided to increase the tariffs on China 4 times of what they are now. 4 times greater. This is an intensification of this trade war that's going on, and it's a massive move forward in dumping on the Chinese economy and putting pressure on China. I'm going to read what Donald Trump says here. It says, for 10 months, China has been paying tariffs to the United States of America 25% on $50 billion of high-tech and 10% on $200 billion of other goods. These payments are partially responsible for our great economic results. The 10% will go up to 25% on Friday on $325 billion worth of goods. So they're increasing the amount of goods from $200 billion to $325 billion, and they're increasing the tariff from 10% to 25%. This is roughly a 4-fold increase in the tariffs, roughly, more or less. A 4-fold increase on the amount of tariffs that are already in place. He says, of additional goods sent to us by China remain untaxed, but will shortly have a rate of 25%. The tariffs paid to the United States of America had little impact on the product cost, mostly borne by China. The trade deal with China continues, but too slowly as they attempt to renegotiate. No. In other words, Donald Trump is trying to speed up the trade deal. Now, here's the thing. You guys might be wondering, well, what effect is this going to have on Bitcoin? And I'm getting to that. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones today. We see the Dow Jones has had 3 tops. And the highest top was this one right here, back on the 9th month, the 17th day of 2018. And both times it reached these tops, it fell off markedly. It's a marked sell-off, both times. Huge sell-off, right? Here and here, big, huge sell-offs, right? Well, we've reached that peak again, and what proves it is we reached the peak right here, on April 1st, we reached the peak, and we've been going along sideways with not enough energy to make the market go up. We've been going along sideways. And now, just in the last few days, it starts to tilt downwards just a little bit right here on the end. Let's take a look at this end here. Just starting to tilt downwards a little bit. If I go to this peak right here, you can see it's starting to move down below the line. It's starting to drop a little bit. This market is just set up for another one of these same events we've had the last 2 times in a row when the market's peaked. It's already set up for that. Nothing happens. It would probably do that. It would probably have a marked sell-off like the last 2 times the market's peaked. It's had a sell-off. It would probably have a sell-off again if nothing happened. But right at the perfect time right now, we get this news about China. Now, I'm not exactly sure what the market will do tomorrow. But it just seems to me that this could be a potential black swan event to make the market fall off. Now here's the thing. The market, if it falls steeply, what effect will that have on cryptocurrency? Will it have a positive or a negative effect? Negative effect on cryptocurrency. Well, cryptocurrency, we've just been through a massive rise in price over the last little while, We've seen, like tonight, the altcoins are starting to take off tonight. We see them starting to take off. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm not exactly sure which way that's going to turn the cryptocurrency market if we get a market sell-off tomorrow on the Dow. If the Dow Jones and all the other markets fall tomorrow, around the world, if they all fall tomorrow, I'm not exactly sure which way this will turn the cryptocurrency market. it's a little bit of an unknown. But my tendency is to think that the cryptocurrency market could turn downward somewhat with this potential market fall off. Now, if we get a huge fall off in the market, it's not going to last real long. It maybe last a couple months. Might not even last that long. Might only last 6 weeks. And then the Fed is going to step in. They definitely will step in. Just like they've stepped in the last 2 times. But this time, it's going to take more than talk. They're going to have to take action this time. If they take action, I can tell you which way Bitcoin's going to go. If the Fed takes action to stop a market correction, I can tell you which way the Fed's going to, which way the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies are going to go. It's going to be rocket fuel for them. It's going to be like, it's a no-brainer for me. It's like seeing a guy standing next to a bonfire with a cup full of gasoline, and he says, "What do you think will happen if I throw this on the bonfire?" Well, yeah, it's going to practically explode. That's what's going to happen to cryptocurrencies if the Fed steps in at the bottom of a market correction and they decide to lower interest rates and they decide to bring out quantitative easing we'll be back in the bull market. For real, if that happens. And this is just simple math, you know. So tonight we're looking at a cryptocurrency market cap of 183 billion, 183.8 billion. So she's up nice and high, 55.8% Bitcoin dominance. I don't really like to see the Bitcoin dominance that high. I've predicted that it's going to fall, but that's in the future after Bitcoin gets up to where it's supposed to be. When Bitcoin gets up to where it's supposed to be, what I mean by that is I can see maybe a couple years in the future Bitcoin becoming the world reserve currency. That's because the dollar is dropped the ball. It's like a football game, you know. The dollar's fumbled it. And cryptocurrency's coming in to pick up the ball and run for the field goal. You know, I mean, it's just simple. I don't know why people can't see that. The dollar's already dropped the ball. The dollar is a world reserve currency. Gold would become the backing and would become the new world reserve, now I'm not going to say a currency, but a backing for all the currencies, if it wasn't like it's in prison. And they won't let it out. They keep controlling it with these paper short contracts. It's the most idiotic thing I've ever seen in my life, but there you go. And it continues, you know. So, there's an awful lot happening in the world right now. I watch for these black swan events, what could turn into a black swan event. This could be huge. This increasing the China trade tariffs. Because China, you know, they're just barely holding their head above water now at this point. They had to do stimulus quite recently because their economy slowed off so much. I saw pictures of their factories, you know, taken by satellite, before and after the slowdown. And their factories were red hot, just humming with activity on infrared. You can see it on infrared, you know, before. After, the factories were cool inside. There's not much activity going on. About probably half, they probably lost half of their factories were idle because of the slowdown in China. So they tried to speed it up. They come in with huge amounts of stimulus into the Chinese economy. And they just pour this stimulus in. It seems like it doesn't really go much of anywhere. It just brings the economy up for a few months. And then as soon as they quit the stimulus, the Chinese economy starts to fall to pieces. Now, we got these 4 times bigger trade tariffs coming in. If China doesn't make a deal, well, you know, their economy is going to go down. This is gambling big. This is gambling with the world's economy, because if China doesn't make this deal now at this point, if they decide not to yield and see America's terms, then their economy is going to go down the toilet. And if Chinese economy goes down the toilet, the rest of the world's economy is going to go down the toilet. Thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next show.